Hi again, Stan here. Welcome to Chapter 5 of my travelogue, the Sussex Coast Road. In this episode, we're traveling from the cliffs of Beachy Head to the quiet downs of the ghost village of Exceat. No resort towns here, just the rolling South Downs and ancient villages. Come on along and enjoy the ride. One of Eastbourne's biggest attractions is not in the town, but a few kilometers further along the coast. From the pier, we follow the King Edward Parade west. This street passes lovely terraced houses on our right and the beach on our left. The street becomes Upper Dicker Road and then Beachy Head Road. Near the top of the hill, we find Beachy Head. There is no beach at Beachy Head, but we find one of the highest chalk cliffs in England, rising to over 160 meters. The name is a corruption of the French name Beau, meaning beautiful headland. From the cliff, on a clear day, we can see the Isle of Wight over 80 kilometers away. Eastbourne Council bought 4,000 acres of land surrounding the cliff to prevent development. The cliff itself is continually eroding and minor collapses happen regularly. Large collapses occur very infrequently, usually after heavy rains and then freezing temperatures. Beachy Head has appeared in dozens of movies and TV shows, including The Who's 1979 classic Quadrophilia, where, in the final scene, we see the Vespa scooter going over the cliff. There is a pub and restaurant near the town, where on a sunny day you can enjoy the view with a meal and a drink. It has been reported as the third most popular suicide location in the whole world. Every year, 20 or more people jump from the cliff to their deaths. Suicides have been recorded here as early as the 7th century. Today, to help cut down on the deaths, the area is patrolled by a chancellery team, and there is a phone box nearby connected directly to the Samaritans. Be careful near the edge, as you may be tempted by the ghost of the Black Monk, who has been reported encouraging visitors to come closer. At the Beachy Head Story Exhibition, we discovered how the cliffs were formed and the people have lived here for centuries. This is a family-friendly attraction with helpful staff that gave us ideas of what to see and which trails to follow. To the west, the rolling grass-covered hills that rise and fall are named Seven Sisters. They run from Beachy Head to the town of Seaford. The chalk downs meet the sea here. These cliffs are one of the most photographed places in England, often mistaken for the White Cliffs of Dover. They are actually whiter and have less development, which makes them far more attractive. They've been used in many movies, including Braveheart, Atonement, and some of the Harry Potter ones. Here we follow the Beachy Head Road rather than the A259, which is a bit inland. This road takes us near the cliffs, and we soon come upon one of the most famous lighthouses in Britain, Belle, Tout. The original wooden one was built in 1828, and the present stone one was completed in 1832. It was not as successful as hoped, because of the cliff erosion and heavy fog, which blocked the sight of the light. It was closed in 1902 when the Beachy Head Lighthouse was built at sea level below that cliff. Belle Tout changed hands a few times after that, and then in World War II it was badly damaged by Canadian artillery during a practice session. The council bought it because of its historical significance, and it was restored in 1956. In the 1980s, BBC used it for a mini TV series. It was also used in the James Bond movie. The most amazing thing about the structure was that in 1999, the complete lighthouse was moved in one piece back 56 feet from the crumbling cliff. It is now a luxury B&B. The keeper's room below the light can be rented for a unique experience. Half a kilometer further along, we found Birling Gap. This is one of the few places we can access the beach below the cliffs because of the steel staircase. For decades, Birling Gap had been very popular for day-out swimming, sunning on the beach, or hiking along the cliff tops. The family-run Birling Gap Hotel entertained thousands of visitors every year with a great pub and restaurant. The cliffs, eroding at 3 feet per year, ended their existence some years ago. For decades, the locals have been trying to persuade the National Trust to put up erosion defenses, but to no avail. They prefer to let nature take its course. For those of that persuasion, there is a nudist beach a bit to the west. Take a look at the terrace houses near the cliff's edge, as they may not be there for very long. 8 Coast Guard cottages were built in 1878. 3 have already been demolished. The remaining 5 are still inhabited. There are no plans to save them from their fate. The National Trust, which owns the site, maintains the stairs and runs a cafe and visitor center. There are still a half a dozen private homes just to the west of the center. They will soon be seafront properties. A kilometer inland from Birling Gap are the twin villages of East Dean and Friston. As most of the land in this area is owned by the National Trust, there has been very little development. The communities are almost quintessential Southdown villages of 100 years ago. They each have classic churches with spooky graveyards, village greens, and homey cottages. As we enter East Dean from the south, we take the first left turn past the church and get to the village green. Besides a couple of cafes, we find the Tiger Inn. For 400 years, this pub has been quenching the thirst of weary travelers. It's worth a look, and in pleasant weather, we enjoy sitting outdoors beside the green. If we can make it, we come on a Wednesday for the weekly market where fresh produce and crafts are available. Watch out for Sherlock Holmes' plaque. He retired here over 100 years ago. Pretty good for a fictional character. Proceed through East Dean to the A259 and turn left to meander through Friston. After you pass the Virgin Mary Church on your left, you will have one of the most pleasant views on our drive. On the right, we have the Friston Forest, replanted with beeches about 100 years ago, and on the left is green downs farmland running to the cliffs and the sea. 3 kilometers down the road, we come to Exceat on the Cuckmere River, and the Visitors Center for Seven Sisters Country Park. Exceat village has not existed for nearly 700 years. First settled by the Saxons as a fishing village protected by the river valley. This was followed by King Alfred the Great, who used it as an important naval fleet against the ongoing war with the Danes. Then, after the Norman conquest, William the Conqueror gave it to his half-brother, Earl Montagne. In 1347, the plague arrived and killed most of the inhabitants. The few left soon deserted the village because of the French raids. The village was rediscovered about 100 years ago. A stone marker was erected to mark its location. Do not be put off by the bad vibes from the ancient village. The Visitor Center offers information and a small cafe. For the more adventurous type, there's a canoe and paddleboard rental near the Visitor Center. The river is shallow and gentle, but be prepared to get wet. The Cuckmere River loops down the valley to the beach of the sea. This is where Braveheart landed in the movie. The walk is easy and very enjoyable, with sheep grazing and World War II pillboxes and tank defenses scattered around. One story has it that they strung lights up the valley to confuse the German night bombers into thinking it was the port of New Haven. Another walk for World War II history buffs is through the forest to the remains of RAF Friston. It was originally a farm field, but was quickly converted into an emergency landing strip. Later, Hurricanes and Spitfires were stationed here for the defense of London. The anti-aircraft batteries were credited with downing many German B-1 flying bombs, saving many lives. We followed the A259 across the single-lane bridge over the Cuckmere, and in half a kilometer we arrived in the built-up area as we come to the town of Seaford. That ends Chapter 5. Thanks for joining me exploring this part of the coast. Chapter 6 will be out soon. Press the subscribe button to be notified when that happens. As always, please press the like button and share this with your friends. See you next time. Bye for now.